Welcome to CGR Comics from Classic Game Room. This is Robotech issue number 1 from WildStorm Comics, released in 2003. This is part 1 of a 6-part miniseries that takes place prior to the events in the Macross Saga, although technically it's actually a 7-part miniseries because I previously reviewed issue number 0, which was like a prequel to the prequel. But this is issue number 1 with some fabulous cover art. Check that out. Bright, colorful artwork on the inside, telling the story of Roy Fokker and the early days before the giant SDF-1 landed on Earth and all of that stuff that happened in Robotech, the Macross Saga. The book begins somewhere in the South Pacific, and if we pan down here, you get a look at Roy Fokker with that awesome long hair and the folks who made this comic book. It starts off by letting you know that Roy Fokker is a badass and anyone who flies with him is killed off because Roy Fokker is just that damned good. And then we get a look over here at Captain Global. Or is it Admiral Global? Either way, he's on the SSGN Minsk. And not the SDF-1, this is before Robotech. In fact, he's actually at war against the Americans. If you remember the beginning of the Macross Saga, there's all hell breaking loose on Earth, and it's not until the SDF-1 crashes that it brings everyone together. And then they fight the Zentradi and get blown up by the Invid and all that good stuff. Anyway, they're not really fighting in this comic so much as they're just saber rattling, but then some mysterious force comes out of nowhere and blows up an American helicopter, and there's like a nice countdown here, 10 minutes before the Macross incident, so you know this is all leading right up to that key event. And here's another familiar name. Admiral Hayes just happens to be on that aircraft carrier, and he's called away for an emergency meeting. And Admiral Hayes is obviously the father of Lisa Hayes, one of the main characters from Robotech. To make a long story short, Roy Fokker blows up a bunch of bad guys, his wingman is shot down, he feels really bad about it, and then the alien spacecraft lands on Earth, changing everyone's plans. As a Robotech fan, I really enjoyed the entire 6 or 7 issue miniseries. I think the artwork is bright, vibrant, and colorful, and even though I typically prefer black and white comics for that really sharp, refined visual style, the artists do a great job with this one, capturing the style of Robotech and modernizing it as well. It's printed on high-quality paper, it's an easy read, and it's fun. I mean, if you're a fan of the characters, it's good to watch Roy Fokker blow up a bunch of people, and this artist, or these artists, take on the SDF-1 crashing to Earth. And then, of course, it just kicks off the rest of the series, which is a fun read for fans of the Macross Saga. Now, it's a little odd that all of these key characters, or at least people related to the key characters, are in the same spot at the same time, but I guess they've got to keep everything linked together. In any event, Robotech issue number 1 is a fun read and an easy and affordable purchase these days. From WildStorm, it's Robotech issue number 1. 1 out of 6, with an ad for Time Splitters 2 on the back cover. That's a great game. And a fun comic.